All right, everyone, here is the assignment for Friday. And as I said in my checklist for the week, I will complete the odds, and then you will just have to complete the evens. And just on a blank sheet of paper is fine. You don't have to print these. I have the graphs shown. I just want the certain parts of the graph. So work-wise, your work should look like what I write in this document. So let's get started at number 1. It says evaluate each function at the given value. So that was the first part of the notes, where we just take this value for A, and I'm going to plug it in -1 for every A. So let's see what that looks like. So that's going to be -1 cubed plus 2 times -1 squared plus 5 times -1 minus 1. I'm going to do this piece by piece, but if you have a TI-84 calculator, you could type it in exactly the way it looks. -1 cubed is -1. -1 squared is 1. And then 2 times 1 is going to give me 2. 5 times -1 will be -5, and that -1 stays -1. -1 plus 2 is 1. -5 is -4. Minus 1 more is -5. So the solution of that function evaluated at -1 is -5. Moving on to 3, and notice there are A, B, C, D parts in this. So let's go part by part. So part A says estimate the zeros. Or sorry, part A says estimate the turning points. Let me color code these. So I'm going to do turning points in blue. So if I look at my graph in number 3, I got a turning point here, a min or a max, that's a minimum. I got another minimum right there, and I got a maximum up here. So I'm going to have 2 minimums. One, it looks like about, I don't know, we'll just say -1.9, -4-ish. I'm not going to be too picky about the decimals. If it's close to where that point is, that's fine. And there's another minimum at 1, 0. And then we have a max at 0, 1. And then part B says estimate the zeros. So part B, zeros are X-intercepts. So I got one here. It looks like -2.2 maybe. And I got one that's also my minimum. So my zeros, we'll just say -2.2. And then my other zeros at 1, 0. And then C, end behavior, that's what are the arrows doing. So I have 2 arrows on this function. This left arrow, we have to think about as x goes to -infinity, that's the left arrow. What's the y doing? Well, that arrow is pointing up on the left, so that means y is going up to +infinity. And the other right, as x goes to the right forever, y is also going up forever. And then last, my intervals of increasing, decreasing. If I look at this function, I read it from left to right. So as I come in, change my color. So as I come in from the left, you see I'm decreasing. This function's going down. So I'm just going to list my first interval as decreasing, and that's from -infinity. And it stops decreasing at the x value of this minimum, and I said that was -1.9. So the intervals of increasing and decreasing will kind of work with hand in hand with the mins and max. So at -1.9, you notice my function starts going up. So then I'm increasing, and I'm increasing from -1.9. And I stop increasing at this maximum at 0, 1. So I'm increasing all the way to x is 0 right here. And then I start decreasing again. So from 0 to my other x-intercept at 1. So this little piece right here is decreasing. And then I finish at 1 and I start going up forever. Let's just look at one more really quick. So same idea in question 5 and 6. So in question 5, if I start with my intercepts, or sorry, my mins and maxes, A was mins and maxes. I got one maximum right there and one minimum right here. So I'm just going to say I got a max at 0, 2. I'm not going to be too picky on the accuracy as long as it's close. And it looks like I have a minimum at 3, negative 7.5. And then if I go find my X-intercepts, this one's got one there. It looks like about negative 1/2. I'm going to write these a little bit different, and that's okay. So X-intercepts always have a Y value of 0. So if you just want to write the X value, so this one looks to be like negative 1.8 about. That's one of my X-intercepts. The other one looks like about positive 1.8. And then the one over here looks like 3.9-ish. So you don't have to write them as points. So you could leave them as just the numbers because the Y value is understood to be 0 at an X-intercept. Let's look at end behavior. So end behavior, these arrows. So I look at my left arrow. And that one, as X goes to the left forever, that Y is going down forever because the arrow is pointing down. The right arrow, as that one goes to the right forever, so as X goes to positive infinity, that one's going up. And then last, my intervals of increasing, decreasing. These are all X values. So if you look, as I come in from the left, I begin by going up. This function is increasing until I get to this maximum. So this function starts off increasing. So from negative infinity until 0, X is 0, I'm increasing. And then at 0, I start decreasing. So if you notice, it starts going down until I get to my minimum, which we said that minimum was at 3. So from 0 to 3, I'm decreasing, and then this function turns and starts increasing the rest of the way. So I'm back up here at increasing from 3 to infinity. All right, good luck on the worksheet, guys. You just have to complete the evens, and please submit them via the Google Classroom post. I'm trying to keep all the assignments together since some of you aren't following the directions on how to correctly title the subjects of your emails. So just submit them in Classroom. If you have any questions, just send me a Remind 101. I respond very quickly that way. Bye.